You're making grilled cheese tonight. The store with the really, really good cheese closes at 7. If it's 12.1 miles away and work ends at 5:45 but rush hour picks up around 6:15, when's the latest you can leave for cheese? Don't know? Not to worry. Waze knows. Take a look at the traffic forecast and plan your drive ahead of time. Waze. Download and drive today.
Reinvent yourself at UCLA Extension. Explore continuing education programs to enhance and expand your skill set. Gain real-world skills taught by industry experts that you can apply immediately. Learn from anywhere and choose from a wide variety of online courses in entertainment, digital technology, business, engineering, and more. Winter quarter begins January 4th. Learn more at uclaextension.edu.
What's going on? You're tuned into the Cigars with Mac podcast. And this is a early morning podcast today on Tuesday, July 14th. Definitely want to say it feels good to be back in the studio making a podcast. Man, I've been so busy lately, man. I've been so busy lately, trying to learn new skills. Skills that pay the bills, but also learning things that I know I could enjoy doing for a living, with this COVID-19, man, you really have to realign your priorities, if that makes sense to anyone. You really got to realign your priorities. You really got to gain new skill sets. And I was talking to an individual yesterday, she works for GM Financial, and they laying off, man. They laying off like a son of a gun, man. And it just goes to show you, man, that even these big corporations you think would be quote unquote safe, because GM Financial is, a part of GM, and believe it or not, people are still buying vehicles. People are still financing vehicles. The majority of people finance vehicles. They don't buy them downright cash. They finance them. And, to think that this young lady had to lose her job, is really like, wow. But it just kind of solidified my decision that I made as far as gaining new skills to better myself for the future. And something we have to do as people, black, white, blue, yellow, Chinese, doesn't matter. We got to always be constantly improving ourselves, whether that be in our personal lives, whether that be in our careers, whether that be in our businesses. We have to constantly be improving ourselves, because this world is forever changing, and it's not going to slow down. Now, with the pandemic, a lot of people are out of jobs. A lot of people like myself, my job transitioned from being at the facility to being a work from home job. I mean, I work from home occasionally for my job, but now it's 100% remote until the time being, And anyway, with all that being said, I just saw that it's a lot of things changing in our world right now. And I saw that, I was going to pursue my master's. And, I end up putting that to the side for a while, if I even decide to do it again, because I just really don't see the point of these graduate degrees like that. I'm learning the value is in certifications. Hell, I even have a certification, and when I got back into the corporate game, that certification landed me more interviews than having a bachelor's degree. And nothing wrong with having a degree. Of course, the push this day and time is for STEM: science, technology, engineering, mathematics. And that's really the way of the future. We can no longer, especially as black people in America, we can no longer go to these universities and colleges and get these worthless liberal art degrees, even though people are still going to get them. It doesn't matter how much you tell people they should pursue fields in STEM. Everybody just not going to do that. It just doesn't work like that. And I understand that. But anyway, back to the individual I was talking to yesterday. Her job got canned. And I told her I've been there. I've been laid off a couple times, man. I've gotten the pink slips a couple times, so I'm not a stranger to that by any means. And I got those with pre-COVID. So I've been there. I've had to, restart. I've had to, quote unquote, redefine myself. So I've been there, And I was also very understanding to, she was saying that she's okay and all that, but I know it's a fucked up situation to be in, especially right now. Some things you just cannot, you cannot hide, even through a text message, Hell, in my opinion, my job it isn't even safe, man. I don't even use that word safe very much, especially when it comes to corporate America. I don't use that word at all. There's no sureties to me. There's no guarantees, When it come down to the corporate game, man, you gotta just take it one day at a time. You gotta take it one day at a time. Even when having your own business, you have to take it one day at a time. With life, you have to take it one day at a time, because nothing is promised to us, man. It's just not, When we work our jobs, I always feel like you got to be planning for the next job, the next move. You can't really get too comfortable. And that's one of the things that fucks a lot of people, is that, you'll get in a position and you get comfortable and you get in your routine, you get your Starbucks, you go walk around and bullshit and talk to your friends and talk about those kids and, your frivolous nonsense, things that really don't matter. And we get on these jobs and we get comfortable. We get, people get possessive over a seat, or they get possessive over a computer that doesn't even belong to them. They get possessive over a cell phone that doesn't even belong to them. They get possessive over silly things that don't matter, And I always felt like, and I guess because I've been laid off twice, that my mindset is, at any moment, any time, this job can give me a pink slip. And I'm definitely not trying to be negative. Don't get me wrong. I want people to, especially during times like this, you gotta stay positive. So don't get me misunderstood, but I also am a man that deals with reality. I deal with what's real. I deal with what's in front of me. I don't deal with faith. I don't deal with too much optimism. I deal with realism. It's kind of like, if a product costs $1,000 and you only have $700 in your bank account. Well, I'm the kind of person, I understand if this product costs $1,000 and I only have $700 in my bank account, that I don't have the money for that. But what the mindset I have is, what steps can I take to get my bank account to $1,000 so I can buy that product? That makes sense to you. That's how I deal with life. I'm not a very, I'm optimistic to a degree, but I'm also a realist. I just am. I've learned that in life, especially being a man, especially being a black man, we deal with things a little differently. We have to deal with things different than most people. Our situation is unique in this country. We have to get, for instance, I've been married 13 years, but prior to being married, I was single as a young man. And as a man, you have to get used to being, especially when you're dating or trying to holler at chicks, you got to get used to being told no. You got to get used to that as a man. You have to develop thick skin to the word no, N-O. You got to get used to that, man. You got to get used to being told no by the world, and you have to learn how to overcome it. I feel a lot of times women are not really conditioned for that. Women are not conditioned to being told no. They're not conditioned to doors being slammed in their face. Am I saying that doesn't happen? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But it's a little bit different. If we're all honest about it, it's different, Men and women are not treated and created equal in this world. We're just not. We're just not, But I just feel as a man, when I get out this bed every day and step out that front door, I got to put on my armor and be ready to deal with what's in front of me. Because with the COVID-19, bills still are due. Yes, they have programs in place. But as a man, because I'm not or haven't been affected by this yet, or, not that I'm saying I will, but I haven't been affected by this, I don't have access to those things, and I'm not going to take advantage of the system. Even though the people that create the system take advantage of the system all the time, but that's another podcast. Anyway, you know, I still have to keep living, you know. You know, as a man, we can't live in fantasy or la la land. And a lot of men that listen to me will probably agree with what I'm saying. I think they will. But anyway, let's talk about some. You know, what's going on in the celebrity world. You know, I'm pretty sure everybody has heard it with Will and Jada Pinkett and their marital problems. And of course, I do believe that was somewhat scripted. You know, it has been long said that they have an open relationship. And as they said during the time that this happened, they were broken up. You know, but you got to understand, people, that I was watching a YouTube video and these actresses were saying that a lot of times when they're invited to red carpet events, a publicist will set them up with another celebrity because they look cute together. Excuse me. They don't even date these people, but they say a lot of times they'll be matched with another celebrity or a ball player. It's basically as a plus one because, you know, in certain circles, it doesn't look good to go to events by yourself if you're a single man or a single woman. It just looks better to be coupled up, you know, so people won't think things. You know, the image is everything, believe it or not. And they were saying how a lot of times you'll see them with a plus one, and they don't even date that person. They were just coupled up, you know. And I said that to say this, you know, many people have said that Will and Jada are together just because of they look good together. You know, they've been together for a long time, over 20 years, actually 25 years to be exact. And that was out of Will Smith's own mouth. But anyway, everybody's talking about this and making funny memes about, you know, Jada and the word entanglement. You know, and I believe this was scripted. I believe it was scripted, you know. You got to know that this was not a shock to Will. You know, Will had to kind of play the game, you know. You know, in front of people, it looked like he took a L, but I know he did. I don't feel like he took a L. You know, but this just goes to show, if this were not scripted, which, like I said, there's no facts on saying, but this is just my opinion. If this were not scripted, Will had to take that on the chin like a G. If that were real, but in my opinion, it was scripted. You know, people say it like he was crying. He's an actor. He can act. He's an actor. He gets paid to play multiple roles. He gets paid handsomely well to cry. He gets paid handsomely well to show certain emotions. He's a professional at it. You know, I think sometimes we as Homo sapiens, man, we something else, man. We really are. You know. But I think this was a scripted event. You know, that's another reason why I was going to talk about it a couple of days ago, but I was like, let me just wait till the dust clears the air before I, even bring it up, but I believe it was scripted, I mean, people saying, different things about Will Smith, but I truly believe that this was he wasn't blindsided, and I try not to get into a lot of celebrity gossip because those people live in another world, man. They live in another world, man. They just do. They live in a world I don't even desire to be a part of. I have no desire to be in that world. That's just me. I'm not hating anything like that, but when you are a celebrity, man, you are at the people's scrutiny and mercy, and your family's constantly under a microscope, and any little thing you do, people critique it. I don't want to deal with that. I couldn't deal with that. That's just me, though. I'm not knocking anybody that wants to be a part of that. But I have no desire to be a part of that, But anyway, I really want to just thank people for reaching out, for telling me, they missed the podcast, and I've been getting some good feedback, people liking the podcast, and I'm happy, man. I gotta get back on it, Like I said, I've been just busy trying to improve myself, man. But today, I want to talk about an array of things. I really don't have a quote-unquote topic. I have a lot of things in my head I want to kind of talk about, but, today is kind of a bit informal, Kind of informal, I just want to talk about an array of things, man. I want to get back on talking about reality, like for instance, like I was speaking of earlier about, these college degrees, man. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't feel like college is a scam, but I feel like college is somewhat of a how should I say this without sounding? I feel like college is somewhat of a social thing, social club. And the term college actually does mean society, believe it or not. But I feel like, that college, I don't necessarily think it's a joke because, if you have, I do want to, if I want a doctor operating on me, I do want to know that they went to a great school, and they went through their clinicals and their residency, and, I want to know that they put the work in, But I just feel like sometimes we as Americans were somewhat misled about this college thing. Like I said, the young lady I know, she's actually pursuing a master's degree, and that meant nothing when it came down to laying her off. I don't think she was furloughed. I think she was actually laid off. Like I said, I've been laid off twice. And I have yet to see the value of college. I just have. I have yet to see the value of it. That's just me, though. I mean, hell, even the president, I believe he signed an order as far as with federal jobs not requiring college degrees, certain jobs anyway. And that's so important, people, because a lot of times you'll go on these job interviews and they interview you and you get down to the nitty gritty, and then they say, well, you don't have the degree we're looking for. Yeah, you have great experience, but you don't have the degree we're looking for. And I used to always want to ask them, why the fuck did you even interview me? Why? Why did you waste my damn time? And again, I have nothing against college. I have a bachelor's degree. But the degree I have, I'm not even working in that field. I tried to get into the industry I have my degree in, and it didn't work out like I thought it would. Why? Because these degrees, man, unless you are in STEM, and even that doesn't matter to a degree, but unless you're in STEM, it really doesn't matter. But I feel like it doesn't matter. I feel like a lot of times the way the switch is going now, man, you have to be certified, especially in the technology industry. You have to be certified on certain programs, on certain software, on certain vendor-specific tools. They want to know you're certified. They want to know that you know what the hell you're doing. To be a plumber, you have to take a test. To be a electrician, you have to take a test, be certified. To be a welder, same thing, so on and so on and so forth. You gotta know what the hell you're doing, man. And those certifications show that you know what the hell you're doing. You have the years behind you, and you know what you're doing. I think they need to have more apprenticeships as far as for these technology jobs. I don't want to say white collar or blue collar, because there are certain jobs that they're not necessarily blue collar, but they're not necessarily white collar either, if that makes sense to you. I think they need to bring back apprenticeships, because the workforce is changing, and everybody's not going to be a plumber. Everybody's not going to be an electrician. I know I tried to go the trades route at one time, and it just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me at all, man. I tried it, and I did not succeed at it. And I'm not ashamed to say that. But certain fields, they need to have an apprenticeship thing going on. Because we see now, man, that some of these degrees, Especially with the pandemic, man, this pandemic shined the light on a lot of stuff. It really did. Anyway, certain fields you need to have, especially in this technology field, they love to tell you don't have this experience, that experience. But then they say there's a shortage of programmers, of cybersecurity engineers, software engineers, but then you want a person to have a degree, have a certification, but you have to give people opportunity. Everybody starts from somewhere. That's one thing I liked about the military was they had no problem training you. They know you have no experience. They know that. And many of these companies say they value veterans and all that, but that's a bunch of bullshit. But anyway, I think we should bring back apprenticeships simply because people need to learn from the ground up. You have to have a teacher and a student. I believe that. I believe in that so heavily. I believe so heavily that the art of people just being able to learn is such a lost art, especially when it comes to the workforce, because we live in such a robust world that they want you to come in having experience and knowing. They want you to come in already knowing. But as we all know, when you go to a job, you may tell them that you know this or know that, but when you get in there, they're going to teach you their way anyway. So I don't understand that. Even for people that, for instance, if you drive trucks, even though you may drive trucks and you may have, especially if you are a company driver, no matter what company you drive for, you have to go through their training. You have to do things their way. So that's why I don't understand it. Why do companies say that? Never understood that. Well, anyway, back to this college shit. I just feel like, man, that these colleges should be more practical. Because I know me, for instance, the degree I majored in, or that I finished up in, I took a lot of courses that were unnecessary. And that's what really hurts these universities, is that you go through so much bullshit just to get that piece of paper. You go through all that bullshit. All that bullshit. All that stuff. It's like internships. I really don't even like internships. I don't even agree with that. But internships show that the student has work experience. Even though it's only for a couple months, they have work experience, So I'm just discovering, man, that, what's the value in education? Like I told you, I got more positive return on having a certification than having a degree. That certification did more for me because I specialized in something. And I still specialize in it. But what do I know? And there's more, I'm gonna talk about I'm getting more skills in the technology room, and I'll speak more about it as I finish up. I don't want to speak too much right now because I'm still in the learning phase. And I don't like talking about stuff until I really just finish it, so I can give you an honest feedback. But yeah, I'm just discovering, man, that a lot of things that we as a people were taught was really wrong. And excuse me if I'm rambling, people. I'm just very passionate about gaining skills. I don't think I ever talked about this in a podcast, but what better day to do it than today? And I think a lot of time what messes, especially black people up, us people, is that we don't really deal with reality, We're not taught at a young age to compete. And that's something I'm teaching my sons to do, is to compete. They like playing sports. But what I want them to learn is to translate the sports to the real world. So that's why I have no problem with them playing sports. At one time, I was really against sports because I didn't want my children to think that, hey, they're going to make it professional, which is nothing wrong with that. But I want them to understand you can be successful without dribbling a ball or throwing a football. You can be successful without that. Now, mind you, those are avenues to get you to where you want to go. I have nothing against that, but I don't want them to be under the illusion of, that they're going to make it to the pros. They're little, they're 10 and 7, so. But we as a people, sometimes we don't live in reality, man. And especially as young men, young black men, you got to teach your sons, especially your sons, to deal with reality, man. You got to teach them that because that's the world we live in, We live in a world of reality, I have nothing against people's religion if you want to quote Bible scriptures and all that, but that's not going to change anything. Action is what changes things. You got to be actionable. Got to be actionable, people. That's why I'm taking action right now in my own life. Something we got to start doing is do things with excellence. For instance, you may not want to gain a new skill as far as in the workforce to better your career. That's something I want to do. You may want to, start a small business. But don't half-ass it. Sometimes you got to put a little money behind whatever you're doing. You have to put money behind it. You have to, invest your own money. How can you expect people to invest in you if you're not willing to invest in you? That's something I learned a long time ago. If you're not willing to put money behind your business, why would you expect anyone else to? If you're doing shitty ass work, and I can tell when people are not putting 100% behind what they do. I can tell it shows. shows. So I say anything you do, learn all that you can learn in that industry. You know, put the right amount of money it requires to do it behind it, because that makes a big difference. You know, I used to tell a family member of mine, you know, she's in the ministry, and I would always tell her, you need to go to seminary school and get those letters behind your name, because people will take you more seriously, especially being a woman. You know, you just telling people God called you means nothing without degrees behind your name. It just doesn't. We live in a world now where that actually means something. There was a time where that really didn't mean much, but now it does. That's why you see a lot of preachers now, they have doctor behind their name. People will take you seriously when you take whatever you do seriously. I've learned that. But anyway, folks, I want to just give you a quick little podcast, you know, chop it up. And again, I want to thank everyone for listening to the Cigars and Mac podcast. Remember to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and share the podcast. Give me a great rating, you know. Anyway, have a good day. I'm out.
You're making grilled cheese tonight. The store with the really, really good cheese closes at 7. If it's 12.1 miles away and work ends at 5:45 but rush hour picks up around 6:15, when's the latest you can leave for cheese? Don't know? Not to worry. Waze knows. Take a look at the traffic forecast and plan your drive ahead of time. Waze. Download and drive today.
Buying a used truck can be full of unknowns. But at Penske, we know trucks. Our expert sales team can help you find the right used vehicle to meet your business needs. Plus, at Penske, buying is easy with financing, insurance, and warranty programs available. Leave the unknowns behind and buy with confidence. View Penske's entire inventory, current deals, manager specials, and used truck center locations at PenskeUsedTrucks.com.